you usually say, is there anything else, Corm, that you want to talk about?
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Movie Chef podcast where we make a meal out of movies. With me again, as always, is my trusty sidekick, the man who puts the fun in functioning alcoholic.
Nightwing.
The Nightwing. I think you could be Superdog. Superdog to my Superman.
Oh, if you'd have said Supergirl, then I would have been very, very happy there. I'd much prefer to be Supergirl.
Cousins. They were cousins, weren't they?
Super cousins? Yes, they were.
So
far.
What have you...
I was going to say, any news?
Well, thanks for asking.
But you were obviously going to ask me how I was. Well, yes.
I was going to ask if you've watched anything decent this week, or if you've got any news, or if you wanted me to tell you any news. We're just looking for a way to segue into the news.
I have been down a few rabbit holes this week, and I found a great 6-part 1992 BBC documentary on the death of Yugoslavia. It's a very good documentary, Paul.
I'm sure it is. When is it from again? Is it
I
recent?
believe it was 92. And the most alarming thing is they're like interviewing people like Slobodan Milosevic and stuff, and they're still kind of like sitting in like presidential places, and you're like, oh, isn't he dead now, or is he in the Hague still?
Was he the one that killed himself in the courtroom?
No. He was part of that whole thing, but it wasn't him who killed himself.
Milosevic was a heart attack, and there's another one that took. I mean, I know he did awful things, and we're not excusing it, but if there's a way to go in the Hague, in the international courtroom, poisoning yourself, it's a proper Emperor Roman Empire way to go into it. It's not sort of your modern kind of.
I always remember years and years ago, one of my friends, Digger, he was one of these people who found like rotten.com like really late on in life.
Right. Okay.
And so he got really, really into it, and he fell down a few rabbit holes, and he found some really strange video of some guy who was like obsessed with Bjork, and it was like a video, like a running video camera, obviously, of him, and he was like giving his manifesto speech or something, and there was like Bjork music playing in the background, right? So he was like obsessed with Bjork, and he tried to meet her a few times and stuff like that there, and obviously it didn't go well. So in this whole thing, he's a big fat guy too. He's a big fat guy, and what I can remember of the video was him putting lipstick on himself. Then he puts a gun in his mouth and shouts "Victory!" and blows his head off.
Jesus Christ!
It was horrible, and I wasn't told what was going to happen either. He was just like, "Oh, what's this?" And I was like, "Oh no!"
Man, I get people sending me stuff like that sometimes. It's like
I can't handle that stuff.
Nah.
I haven't got the disposition for that. Like,
I think when I know it's real, if obviously I'm into wrestling and stuff. You've heard of New Jack? You heard of a wrestler called New Jack from ECW? There was have a look for the mass transit incident, and it's basically just New Jack scalping a 18-year-old boy in a wrestling ring, and it's probably one of the most horrendous things. Series, we'll talk about it another time. But the mass transit.
I don't want to.
No, it's a horrible story. It was on the Dark Side of the Ring documentary series. But so on that line note, do you want some good news?
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind some good news.
Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a sequel.
Okay.
Did you see
need another one?
No. No, I saw the first one. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Could have been worse. If they'd have kept the original design, it would have been horrendous. Jim Carrey was... I think I texted you at the time when I was watching it. What's his name?
What's his name? Is it Dr. Robotnik? Or...
Yeah.
Is it... Okay.
He's Dr. Robotnik. We're going to talk about this, the first one and the post-credits set up a sequel. Now, if you're familiar with the sequel for the Sonic the Hedgehog games, you're aware of what happens to Dr. Robotnik and who else may come along. There you go.
We got Tails and Knuckles as well. Remember Knuckles?
Yeah, we haven't had Knuckles yet. I think that'll be pushing for the third one, but we've got Tails. Spoiler alert for Sonic, but we've got Tails in the thing. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad a film. I think it's going to be the only sequel where it's actually cheaper to make than the first one because they have to go back and redesign the whole hedgehog. So I think it'll be, I don't know, if Jim Carrey stays on form. But like I said to you at the time, I texted you when I was watching it, and I just Jim Carrey's still dining out on that 90s rubber face shtick, but if it's still making him a millionaire.
But he's political now though, Jim Carrey, isn't he? He does art and stuff. He does like anti-Trump stuff, and he's very, very politically motivated now. Wasn't he in court as well because he gave his girlfriend chlamydia and then she killed herself because of it?
Okay. This is all allegedly, and we're not saying.
No, that's a fact.
No. I know.
Hold on. Let me segue here.
Last thing, you know what?
That it happened. It's not a fact that he gave her chlamydia. He was in court.
Yes, he was in court. I believe because his girlfriend killed herself, and apparently it came out that she'd got chlamydia from Jim Carrey, but I think he was trying to argue saying he got it from her or something. I don't know. It got very messy and. Similar to the Amber Heard Johnny Depp one, it's all everyone to suddenly judge on Twitter until it all comes out into it. So God knows what I'm not.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one.
I'm staying the hell away. Those people are vicious. If you don't take either side, Jesus, it's like warfare out there on Twitter. If you don't side with Amber Heard or Johnny Depp, you are scum. God no.
Very few people siding with Amber Heard though.
Yeah, there's very few actually. They've more like drifted away. I think so much so that there's talk of her getting recast in Aquaman 2. And to be honest,
I could see that happening. Yeah, I could
see that happening, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem with that. No.
Yeah.
See, Amber. Spider-Man news. J.K. Simmons. He plays.
Are you going to start mentioning Garfield? It's a multiverse again.
No. J.K. Simmons, who plays J. Jonah Jameson. Have you seen Far From Home? Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yes.
Okay. Again, I don't know how it's been on Sky plenty of times. He obviously shows up in a post-credit trailer as a kind of Daily Bugle, alt-right kind of media presenter.
Yeah, talking head kind of person.
Yeah.
Very Hannity, very...
Yes,
yeah.
Alex
Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones,
well, apparently, I think that's a great move for it, by the way. I think that's very clever, rather than just having it as a typical newspaper editor. He's actually signed on for multiple roles, apparently, multiple contracts, so he'll not only star in the Spider-Man films that are made for the MCU, but apparently he's contracted to star in the, hang on, let me get it right, Sony Extended Spidey-Man Universe. The Spidoo. Sespidoo. Anyway, the Sespidoo. Because that includes Morbius, Venom 2. There's supposed to be a man and his dog getting a film at the minute, so happy for that. Want to see him more? Don't care.
I like J.K. Simmons. I think he kind of made the role his own, and I was going to say the original Spider-Man movies, but the new original Spider-Man movies. He made a weird jump to Commissioner Gordon in the DC universe.
Yeah, I think that was it was a great piece of casting, but it's just a shame they've gone the way they are, which I'm sure we'll get into. Another bit of great casting news.
Do you think that it was just trying to get a thumb in the eye to Marvel to try and take him from that role?
No, I'm guessing J.K. Simmons has said, seeing as though you're rebooting the Batman with a younger Batman and a new Commissioner Gordon, you're not going to be making any movies for me in the next 5-10 years, so why don't I go off and do my own thing? I think that's where it came from. Because he's... I can't see Commissioner Gordon appearing in any DC Universe films for the time being, so...
No, I can't either.
Another bit of casting news. Ryan Gosling apparently in talks to play the Wolfman in the new Universal film. Can I finish setting out what I'm saying before you start laughing, please? Okay. Ryan Gosling is starring as the Wolfman in the new Universal reboot of the same name. Are you excited for this one?
I'm sorry. So, another pointless kind of thing, but again, it kind of harks into what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, isn't it? You know, do you remake shit movies or do you remake good ones? You know
when I saw that and I thought, why do they keep doing Wolfman? Why is it always a werewolf? Why does nobody have it where a person could turn into...
It's all about the franchise, baby. They want the franchise.
Why don't they just make a new franchise where it turns into a frog or something?
But they're sitting...
Frogman.
But they're all sitting there. They're all sitting there, right? So this is how it's going to go. So we're going to get Wolfman. Then we're going to get a new Dracula. Then we're going to get a new Frankenstein. And then it's going to be like the horror MCU. Then we're going to get another...
You do know they tried to do that about 5 years ago and it all fell to pieces.
How about you shut your mouth and let me finish, all right? Then they're going to do a remake of the Monster Squad. Remember the Monster Squad?
Oh, yes, I remember. Yep.
Yeah. Then they'll do that. Then that'll be like it's Avengers. And then they'll do like Wolfman 2, Dracula 2, Frankenstein 2.
They had...
And then in the end, a dwarf makes a magic shoe and somebody kicks a wall and half the earth dies.
And then it was all a dream.
And then Bobby wakes up in the shower and it's all a dream, baby.
Because they tried doing that whole Avengers thing. They had Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll, who was leading some kind of... Did you not see Tom Cruise Mummy? Not many people did, to be honest. So you had Dracula Untold.
I remember Dracula Untold.
You had the Welsh Dracula with Luke Evans.
Oh, that was filmed over here. Yes.
And you had Charles Dance at the end with his "The game is on," literally saying "the game is on." Then you had the Mummy with the cruise missile. That also set up Dr. Jekyll. He was in that. Then apparently that group was supposed to be going after the Invisible Man, who was Johnny Depp, and Javier Bardem was Frankenstein. They were all apparently cast.
There are some big names.
Did you never see the photoshopped image they sent out? It was Tom Cruise was the Mummy.
This has bypassed me completely.
So this was when the Mummy came out. The Mummy was the launch of the Dark Universe for Universal. This was their MCU. So they had the cast. I can't remember the doll's name, but she was in the Mummy. You had Tom Cruise was in there as like he was the straight guy, but again, spoiler alert, the Mummy. You had Russell
straight guy, the straight guy,
the entry protagonist within the story. Fuck you. And then you had Javier Bardem was cast as Dracula's monster. You had Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man. Someone else was in there as well, but they've cast some big names, and it's like kind of everybody just went, hang on a minute, can we just go watch The Mummy first? And that was a bag of shit. I admired what they were trying to do, but the plan was to bring them all together to fight one big evil.
In a monster squad.
Squad.
The Kraken. That's what, or no, what do you call that? Cthulhu. They would all fight Cthulhu.
Who's Cthulhu? Is that one of the Godzilla ones?
That thing that... No, that's like the H.P. Lovecraft. You know, okay. the devil's kind of... No?
Pet.
Never? Huh?
The devil's kind of...
But that would have been amazing. I should really work for Universal. If I had all this shit, they would have a Monster Squad breakaway. They would have like an Avengers type Universal Monsters breakaway.
The plan was for Russell Crowe to be... He was like the Hulk. Basically, that's all it was boiled down to. And it was going to be a case of Tom Cruise was going out to find these other people in the universe, and then you'd probably bring Luke Evans in.
And the cruise missile torpedoed it.
He Yeah, I get it.
You get because Torpedo and Cruise Missile are two like missiles, and because he blew it up.
Henry Cavill is in talks for a future appearance as Superman.
Why? Just fucking quit. Why do people not quit anymore?
He wants to come back. He wants to come back.
Why? He was shit.
I really enjoyed it. I'm saying that I enjoyed him as Superman. I do. I think
Man of Steel was
Man of Steel.
Terrible.
No, I disagree.
Listen, we'll get into this later with our chat. But give up, DC. Give up.
I really enjoyed Man of Steel. I did. No. I thought Batman vs Superman was a lot worse. I came out of Batman vs Superman appalled. You know that that's probably the only one that I actually like. No, yes, there is massive problems with it. Massive problems with it. But the extended version of it was a lot better than people give it credit for. But what I first said was I came out of the cinema fucking appalled by it.
Oh yeah. Yes, so, obviously.
Yes, I'll agree with you. The extended cut does make it a better film. But I would happily sit and watch Man of Steel over Batman vs Superman in a day.
Okay.
I can't.
I respectfully disagree, but there you go.
What about? So you don't want to see Henry Cavill back in Shazam 2 or Aquaman 2?
Why? No, I would like to see Shazam. I would like to see another Shazam movie. I actually quite liked that.
Yeah, brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it kind of gave us a different kind of view of the DC world, where it seemed actually like it's probably, top of my head, it's probably the most coherent of the DC movies that I've seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely, because it didn't have ties to anything else. It didn't have to latch onto anybody else's story. Did you see what the director, I'm just digressing here, the director, I can't remember the man's name, but the director of Shazam, you've seen Shazam, obviously, so...
Yeah.
The end scene shows Superman cut off from the neck down. The director said, well, okay, I'm releasing my cut as a piss take. And he shows the footage of Shazam and he's edited it so the camera pans up, but probably about 4 or 5 meters into the sky and it's all neck. And at the end is just Henry Cavill's face on the end of it. And he goes, hey, you're all happy now. So he's just spent his time editing Shazam 2 to include absurd. We might be getting more Harley Quinn, linking into our Suicide Squad conversation today. So, see, Birds of Prey was dreadful. And there's something I've learned, there's 2 things we've learnt today, but Birds of Prey I thought was dreadful. And people go, say, you're a man, you don't understand. No, I can understand watching a film. And it was bad. And Kathy Yan, the director, has actually tweeted out today saying she feels sorry for David Ayer because she knows what it's like to have a film's cut.
Oh, Jesus, there we go again.
And me and you said on that one of our first episodes, this will just open the doors to everything. But I went down a bit, not a rabbit hole, but I clicked a few links. Birds of Prey, apparently originally, and we don't know how true this is a rumour on the internet, but she started saying how her version's been cut. Apparently Ewan McGregor, Black Mask, was flamboyantly, openly gay. And Victor Zsasz was his partner. And the MacGuffin in the film is a diamond. Now he wants it because it's got some bank details on it. Apparently the main stinger in Act 3 was going to be that inside that diamond is a flash drive with Black Mask's dick pics. And he wants it back. Now, apparently somebody on Reddit, and the story was published before Birds of Prey came out, about 6 months before, they said, I've seen the screening of the film, and they discussed the dick pics and stuff, and other stuff they mention fits with the film that came out. So they've seen the film beforehand. Now, they might have just started throwing in random bits about pictures of his dick going missing, but what a very weird thing to leak. Yeah. Obviously, it's weirder that it's in the movie, of course, but what a very weird thing to kind of leak out. But this was somebody who'd seen a screener. So more often than not, people say, look, we appreciate it's not the finished film, we won't tell any details of it. I went to see The Dark Knight Rises well, I said that I went to see it. I went to see the opening scene. Me and my friend Johnny travelled from Carlisle up to Glasgow one day because I clicked on this website and got 2 tickets to see a special edition. And they said it's the opening scene from the film, so it was the whole aircraft heist with Bane. And you had your phones taken off you. We had to sign stuff to say we won't tell anybody what we've seen. So you can imagine if you've seen the whole film in in a teaser, in a screening, and somebody's gone out there and said, I don't know whether it's true or not, but we're going to talk about David Ayer in Suicide One, and for me now it's like, draw a line under it. You can't keep remaking it. Is James Wan going to come out and say he wants Afterman as well?
The problem now is that the genie's out of the bottle. The genie is out of the bottle because this is the new Disney remaking cartoons as live action movies. This is companies now that can turn around and go, do you know what? We already have the actors under contract. They've already got paid for it. So they won't get paid a second time around. We've already got, everything already done. All we need to do now is kind of pay the kind of post-production kind of people. All we need to do is editors, music, probably some CGI stuff, but everything else, locations and everything like that there. Like how far do we go to this? Like do we go back to the 30s, 40s and 50s? Do we start remaking Maltese Falcon? Let's make fucking Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart with a persistent boner throughout the movie, But do you know what I mean? Like, where do we stop now? The genie is out of the bottle.
It is absolutely, with the Snyder Cut doing it, I absolutely agree there. Up to a point, I was ready to say, yes, let's see this David Ayer cut of this film, etc. And you know what? From what you've just said there, and from seeing that Cathy Ann tweet, it's now like, where does it end? Is every director going to come out and say, here's all the stuff on my cutting room floor that you wouldn't let me put in? If I can get enough likes on social media, you're going to re-release the film. And people say, well, you should want to see different versions of the film. No, I'm going to see a different version of the film with James Gunn next year. David Ayer had his chance. And I bet you James Gunn's film won't be butcherized like David Ayer's was. Not against David Ayer, but what I'm saying is...
The scariest thing for me now, right? Well, not scary, but the most annoying thing for me now is it gives directors a mulligan once they've fucked a movie up the first time around.
Yeah.
And, it's just, where do we end? Where do we stop at this?
So,
in theory, DC could go back now and just rewrite every movie. We've George Lucas the DC universe within the first 10 years of the actual movie's been out.
The universe hasn't even... It's only just got through one...
Is it even a universe? Yeah.
Is
it a universe?
No, I'd say... Yeah, no, I wouldn't, because I'd say Iron Man and all them, they actually started linking them together through the stories, and people say, well, Batman vs Superman was a sequel to Man of Steel, and that was a continuation of the story. Then Wonder Woman came, which... Yeah,
Do you know what? I said Shazam was the most coherent. Shazam and Wonder Woman. That's talking shit.
Yeah. No, Wonder Woman goes without saying. I can't wait to talk to you about Wonder Woman 84. Because I've read something and I'm not going to say it. So I cannot wait to talk to you about Wonder Woman. So back to Harley Quinn.
Can I say one thing first? I love the visuals. I love the visuals of the 1984 Wonder Woman stuff. I think that's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. Let's talk about it when it comes out, because I'm going to end up saying something. More Harley Quinn. The fact is, Birds of Prey was a Harley Quinn solo movie to me. That was...
I don't see why, number one, people want to see more Harley Quinn. Number two, why Margot Robbie wants to be Harley Quinn, because I haven't watched Birds of Prey. I don't plan to watch Birds of Prey. Maybe it'll come on the TV in a couple of years' time and I'll watch it. I'll give it a passing glance, But literally, and obviously again, we'll get into it later on in the Suicide Squad movie or Suicide Squad talk. The only reason that she's in that movie is because she's hot. That's it. That's it. It doesn't show her acting talents, doesn't show anything else. She is there to bend over and let people show her behind. That's it.
I can agree with you to an extent. I think there's other actresses that could have brought in. I think she plays that character well. I do. But it is a cartoon character. She's not going out to win an Oscar. She's playing a cartoon character. And she gets away with it. And yes, she's very attractive. And is one of the criticisms I've got of Suicide Squad, to be honest, that we'll get on to that. But, so apparently there's another one. I think and I was going to say the same for Superman, Harley Quinn would be better as a sidekick, secondary character in a Batman, Suicide Squad film. She does not need another solo film, not after what we've just seen. And people say it's a Birds of Prey film. It is not a Birds of Prey film. It is a Harley Quinn film with other characters in, and they only changed the title to the fucking thing after it came out 2 weeks because nobody understood what the film was. But anyway, so no, I think, and with Superman, I think he's like the Hulk in the MCU.
He can't get any more work. Let's just be honest. He's realised he can't get any more work.
I think he's done all right.
Movie-wise.
So you're saying he's made him untouchable?
And Superman, look at what did to Reeves. Didn't throw him off a horse. I get that. But, it ruined his movie career.
Have you ever fallen off a horse or do that, Colin?
Well, no. It was well before he fell off the horse. Yeah, it was the only other movie that I can remember him being in. Oh, Jesus, I can remember being in too. Oh, that's horrible. Right. His first movie was Children of the Corn. I remember him being in that.
That's the only other one I remember him in.
Oh, I've got a worse one. This is terrible, Paul, right? Do you remember him in a remake of Rear Window? After he fell off the horse?
Oh, God, yes. Yes, I do.
I remember watching that. No, I remember watching that thinking...
fair play to him, but...
Oh, yeah, no, nothing, taking no credit away from him. Fuck me. No. If I'd fallen off a horse and ended up in the shape that he'd ended up in, I would probably just have wanted to put a bullet in my brain. But God almighty, the strength of that man to come back to actually star in another... Well, star in another movie, But, Jesus, that's some... Like, can you imagine being his agent? And having to pitch that movie to him?
Well, no.
Fuck it, hell. That boy must have had issues.
I suppose, to be honest, and again, this is probably indicative of Hollywood, that it's probably the only phone call he'd have had that month, but I can't imagine him getting a lot of work in his, straight away, who do we know who looks good in a wheelchair? We'll get Christopher Reeves in. He's just another victim of the curse of Superman. I'm just waiting. I'm just wondering whether the mustache with Cavill was his curse, that's going to be stuck with him forever. Seeing these,
the mustache, right? The mustache. Yeah. So I've recently rewatched Justice League, right? Yeah. It was only at the start, wasn't it?
No,
it was the whole movie because the start bit looked like the start bit, knowing where the kids are filming and doing pretend to be a reporter. That looks dodgy. But the rest of the movie didn't actually look that bad.
There was the scene where he's first resurrected and is at the memorial. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of that where you can see he's kind of like his top lip looks like it's top bulged. It isn't. You can just tell. If you just Google mustache scenes, people have just picked them out. And that whole resurrection scene, I think, was reshot, or a lot of it was done reshot. The final battle as well, pretty much, I think. The whole way they took out Steppenwolf was reshot because apparently it was killed differently in the Snyder Cut version. So that must have been reshot. So I think that's going to stick with him. He mentioned it on that watch along the other week, how he wants to see himself in a Superman movie without the mustache because every time he looks at the screen he can just see it. And I just think, for fuck's sake, why didn't you just wait? And the reason they didn't wait is because they wanted bonuses and they wanted to get the film released by November. If they'd have waited 6 months and waited for him to be able to shave his tash off, I think they'd have saved themselves a lot of embarrassment.
Well, let's be honest. That's the least of the issues that movie has.
Yeah.
It's I hope maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later on, but we'll probably have a full episode on Justice League as well. Like,
well, we'll do another episode on Justice League this week, though. We're going to be talking about Suicide Squad. We're going to talk. We're going to tell you now. We're going to talk about the film. We're going to talk about how we feel about the film, characters, story, etc.
Is that the end of the news?
Oh, do you have more news?
No, I'm just asking you. Was that the end of the news? We didn't do a segue. We didn't do anything. Yeah.
I'm trying to do the segue now. This was me doing the
segue. Trevor McDonald says, good night.
If you let me finish. Right. I was in a flow there. If you want to. So we'll be doing a episode on Justice League another time. But this week, however, we're talking about Suicide Squad. Now, we're going to be talking about the actors, the cast, the characters, but we're also going to be talking about what we know about the Ayer Cut, so there's going to be a spoiler for that if it ever comes out. So we'll be talking about that in a minute, but first, here's this. Wanker!
I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet. They're bad guys, worst of the worst.
What was that? I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices.
Let's play.
Don't forget, we're the bad guys.
Suicide Squad. Rated PG-13. Experience it in IMAX 3D.
Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. The seminal DC Extended Universe film. Is it a film? Is that what they called it?
I think it's a film. Is it like a whole pile of 10-minute, 5-minute shorts thrown together?
I was told if it's got a start, middle, and end, then it's a film. So I'm still undecided about this one. So you go first. I think we're on the same way. I think you're going to be surprised by this. I think we're on the same wavelength here. Go on.
Well, let's get what I like about the movie out first. What I like. There are some. I think it looks good. I think that.
Right.
I think it looks good.
I think it looks good. I think it's I think the first 25 to 30 minutes are very colourful and very exciting, and then I think they got bored of that.
I think the costumes are nice.
The costumes are Oscar-winning, Cormac. The costumes are Oscar-winning.
I think the costumes look nice. I think the makeup artist did a bang-up job.
Jai Courtney. Oh, here we go. I've got one here. Jai Courtney, good for once. Can you give me that?
Jai Courtney? Who's Jai Courtney?
The Australian, Captain Boomerang. He was awesome. Everything he's in is terrible, but for this, I want. Okay, sorry, no. I'll change good to better than normally is. And that's about it, to be honest. When I first saw this, I came out, and I'm usually one. When I come out of a cinema, I'm absolutely buzzing about the film I've just seen. It's very rare that I'll come out and go, "That was absolute trash." It's happened recently. Don't get me wrong, but
do you remember when me and you went to see Kill Bill?
Yes, my second.
Do you remember? Yeah. Do you remember when me and you went to see Kill Bill? And I don't think we actually said anything to each other until we got to Pippin's in Carlisle. Yeah. Had a pint, and then we started talking about it.
Yeah. And it was like, wow. Yeah.
Wow. Blown away.
I was like that after seeing Joker as well. And no matter what you think about Joker, or anyone thinks about Joker, for me, watching that film at that time, that struck a chord with me. And I was just sat in my chair. Usually when a film finishes, I'm getting up and getting my coat and getting out of there. And after that was... So, yeah, it's rare that... But I walked out of this and I just felt like I hadn't seen the... I just felt like I hadn't seen the full film. It was all cut. I think there's an awful lot that we didn't see.
No, yes. Yeah, I get that. And I think one of the things... the last thing that I wrote about it was it's a storyboard movie. There's not a lot of in-between. It's just a whole lot of, this seemed to be cool.
And I keep coming back.
That is what the movie is.
This was edited by a company called Trailer Park. They do trailers. So the whole film was edited, and that's That's why I say they got bored. 25 minutes in, we were still getting introductions to characters. Harley Quinn and Deadshot got 2 introductions for themselves. Like you say, it was just numerous short films all put together. And I think it absolutely shows.
Do you think it was like, remember that time at the World Music Awards where Mariah Carey performed and then they gave Michael Jackson the Entertainer of the Decade award, and then Mariah Carey got really annoyed and demanded that she sing again and that she put another dress on and stuff. And that was the day we got the infamous quote, Mariah Carey doesn't do stairs. You know, was that day. So they made them, you know, she went up, sung another song, changed her dress, made them put in like more lights and stuff and had like little fireworks and things like that there just so she wouldn't be upstaged by Michael Jackson. I get the feeling that the start of this movie was a bit like that.
Yes. Having watched, I've seen this film 3 times. Once at the cinema, once with you, and once the other day. And first time at cinema was like just taking it all in. It's a blast to the senses. Go away and think about it. Watch it with you. And we'll pick up on the music in a minute, but the first thing you said to me is, does everybody get a song? Does everybody get a song in this? And it's everybody's getting their moment to shine. So I agree. I don't think it's about anybody being upstaged. I think it was a company who is editing this film have edited it by how crowd pleasing it will be. The tester screen said Will Smith's the best bit. Put Will Smith in. People like Margot Robbie, let's stick her in. We had a good response to this. We had good feedback. We had good social interaction to the Diablo character. Let's move him up. And I think it was a film that was made by... I now believe David Ayer's filmed one film, and they've chopped it into something else. But anyway, it's still 2 hours, 11 minutes long. But I'm going to come back and say, I still believe, and we're going to get onto this in a minute, but I still believe whatever new version of the film is out there, because I think a film can be edited in a certain way to come across differently. As in, you use the cuts of more jokes or whatever. Even one trailer, the way the trailers are put together just shows that they're trying to amplify the comedy, the lighting, everything like that. I don't know. I think they've made this film based off of public opinion. The fact that Batman vs Superman tanking forced them to do reshoots of more comedy says a hell of a lot about the difference between the 2 films when they were coming out. And I think if Batman vs Superman had done really well, we'd have got a very different Suicide Squad.
Maybe, but I genuinely don't see where this movie fits in. You know, so we get introduced. We get like even from the very start, we get introduced to Deadshot, El Diablo, Enchantress, Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang. So all these guys get an introduction now. in this DC universe, they're meta-humans. That's what they're calling them, aren't they? They're meta-humans.
Yeah.
Right. What the fuck is Captain Boomerang's meta skill?
This is what we're going to put. All right, let's go straight to it. He throws boomerangs. How many? Did you count how many he throws?
He throws explosive boomerangs. 3? Was it 3?
He threw 3. One of which was a drone with a camera on. So he threw 2 boomerangs in the hole. Captain Boomerang threw 2 boomerangs. Right.
And there's obviously the pink unicorn joke, which is hilarious the whole way through, and it's brilliant. Hopefully it'll get explained better in the David Ayer cut. That's what I'm fucking hoping for.
Okay, we'll pick up on this as we go along. David Ayer has been on Twitter saying how Deadpool, in particular, was a catalyst for them reshooting more comedic scenes. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if they've gone, Deadpool did something with a unicorn, let's give one to Captain Boomerang. It really wouldn't surprise me at all. Don't get me wrong. It really wouldn't surprise me if they've done that, because he said that a lot of the comedy stuff was done in reshoots because of the reaction to Deadpool and Batman vs Superman. But
but we get like Viola Davis, the government woman who's putting this squad together.
You got to admit, she's great in this. You got to admit, Viola Davis is great.
Viola Davis is great in everything she's in.
Yeah.
But
there you go. There's one thing we forgot to mention.
All right. Well, I actually quite enjoyed Cara Delevingne as well. I thought she was all right. Yes, there was the weird kind of snake hips thing that was kind of going on at the end of the movie. That was kind of
the wacky
really
inflatable arms dancing.
But yeah, I think as a whole, I think she was probably the most believable character in it. Her kind of play, Dr. Moon kind of thing when she doesn't want to be the Enchantress. That was believable.
Okay.
But.
Can I just say, June Moon, Dr. June Moon, worst archaeologist ever.
and the fact that her boyfriend keeps calling her Joan.
Yeah.
Like, several times in that movie, he calls her Joan. Like, Rick Flag calls her Joan. Her fucking name is June, Rick. That's your girlfriend. That's the woman you love.
So, let's go around the rest of the squad and then we'll go on. So, you were saying about June Moon anyway, You like Cara Delevingne?
Yeah. Viola Davis is like, she's like a serial killer in this movie. I don't know what they wanted the character to be. She's tough. She's, I get that. And, she's probably been ex-special forces and stuff like that there. Yeah, I get that. But she just outright just murders people for no reason.
Yeah. Well,
and it's
she's the ultimate in keeping secrets, and she will go to any lengths. And I think the whole argument was who's really is the bad guy here? The government that are killing their own people to cover up their own mess, or
no,
there's a levels.
I got that, Paul.
You didn't need 3 years of. You didn't need 3 years at uni and 25 grand.
It was very obvious.
There is very much a contrast between
the juxtaposition of the situations that these characters are in, the bad guys and the good guys. At what stage do we have to look at it and go, are the good guys really the good guys?
I really must tell you, though, we should all go watch Battleship Potemkin to really understand.
Yes. What about Kuliani Statsi? Kuliani Statsi.
Do
you remember that?
Yeah.
Turn it off! Turn it fucking off!
I remember having to sit through a 3-hour lecture on the Dada movement. I'm sat in a fucking film lecture. I'm sat in a film lecture with a guy with his shirt unbuttoned like Johnny Bravo talking to me about Dada. And I'm like, what the fuck has this got to do with anything? Anyway, that's for my autobiography. Harley Quinn, we spoke about her. You know what? The main thing I had the problem with the Harley Quinn character, and this is Margot Robbie. Yes, she was there just as eye candy. Absolutely. The jokes, her timing was terrible. And I don't know if it was edited that way, but I keep coming back to the editing. But where they're first all coming together in the airport, and she says, the voices, they're telling me she should kill everyone. And you're like, fucking hell, get on with it, love. Get on with that joke. Yeah. And she, oh, no, that's not what they said. And it's like, all right, cool, yeah, we found it. Yeah, move on. Fuck.
I think my problem with Harley Quinn is I don't know if they say, again, it seems like the Viola Davis character, is she mental? Isn't she mental? Harley Quinn in every comic, in every cartoon, in every essence of the Batman universe, or the DC universe, what do you want to call it, is fucking crackers. She is downright out of her fucking gourd. Now, there are some later comic books where, she has a child and things like that there, but she doesn't know what she wants to be. She doesn't know if she wants it to be an insane character, if it wants to be a standard character. It just confused me.
Yeah, and this is another thing. This mental Harley Quinn, genius psychiatrist, turned insane, loves the Joker, and her dream is to settle down in a suburban house doing the washing up with a kid. And it's no, it's
we'll get to that. Okay. And I've got a lot of things to say about that.
Cool. Okay. I've got Killer Croc. More like Croc. Average size Croc. Am I right?
Jeez. Why is his head so big and his body so small?
And he's shorter than Rick Flag.
He's shorter than Rick Flag.
Rick Flag. Joel Kinnaman is 6'2", and Killer Croc is looking up to Killer Croc is looking up to him. So all that money you spend on that film, CGI the fucker. And the other thing that really annoyed me, I don't know much about Killer Croc. Was he sort of human and turned into a crocodile, or was he like mutated at birth? Something. Basically,
there was bits and pieces of. There's different, obviously, incarnations of Killer Croc. There is the human kind of element to him, which you've seen in Suicide Squad, and there's the kind of manic tail, spinning lab coat wearing guy, who hides out, and there is that kind of element. But for me, for my salt, I want to fucking know more about Killer Croc. I want to know more about him. Like, I want to know his story. I want to know everything about that, because he seems like one of the most interesting ones. And find out nothing. He does nothing.
This is what I'm trying. His story arc is it goes from being fed half-rotten carcasses in a sewer to sitting on his bed watching the Black Entertainment Network. And
he's literally the token black guy. And
yes,
that is so shit.
That's what I'm trying to get
to.
What is it? Is it because he were a black guy playing Killer Croc that they emphasise the not meat shorty and all that kind of bro?
Yeah, why does he have to? Yeah, why does he have to get some? Be put down to just this? Do you remember Not Another Teen Movie? Do you remember the black guy in Another Teen Movie? And he basically points out the fact that he's only there to make like comments like a black man would make. Yeah. It's just like he's probably the most interesting character in the entire movie, and we just find out nothing about him, and he's just there to go, damn.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Oh. And you're like,
yeah.
What?
Because, that's exactly it. And that was probably the one that I lost. Slipknot, the man who can climb anything.
Do you know what? I'd forgot about Slipknot.
Everyone forgot about Slipknot. You know what? When you watch the trailer to these again, you see all the squad assembling walking down the street without Slipknot. And you're 25 minutes in and Slipknot hasn't even had a sheet of paper aside to him. And then suddenly he gets out the car, punches a woman in the face, just so we know which one we want to die first. Mm-hmm. And then he gets introduced as the man who can climb anything.
I like the fact that this guy is a meta-human, right? He's a meta-human who can climb anything.
Anything.
And what does he use to climb? Grappling hook. I can climb anything with a grappling hook. His meta-human fucking ability is that he has made a great grappling hook. That's it.
His meta-human ability is being able to do well on that episode of Gladiator where they have to climb the wall.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like he's introduced, he punches the girl, this is Slipknot, he can climb anything. And then he is such a good metahuman. Captain fucking Boomerang mind fucks him into break it, even though he knows that he's got a fucking explosive chip in his head. He knows this. So
he's just go on, why don't you try escape? And they're probably lying to us. Yeah, they've just released 8 vicious criminals from high security onto the street and not put a bomb in the neck. Honestly. Okay, and finally, I'm going to tell you everything that I know about Katana in one sentence, okay?
This is El Diablo, other.
Oh, no, I thought you wanted to say something about El Diablo. God, we need to find our smooth rhythm between each other, don't we?
No, this is smooth rhythm. I like this because I have something to say about Katana as well.
Well, I'll tell you everything I know about Katana, all right? Her name's Katana. She's got Rick Flag's back.
Yeah.
You don't want to die. You don't want to get stuck by a sword because it steals the souls of its victims.
Yeah.
That's it. What have you got?
I like the fact that she is this military weapon. She is this weapon kind of thing, and Rick Flag has called her in, and she comes in last into the plane, and the whole way throughout the movie, she doesn't back Rick Flag up in any way, shape, or
she's
form.
never around him. She's never around.
She doesn't have his back. Nothing. When the whole shebang comes out that it was a meta kind of human event that happened, and that they've kind of been like double crossed to go find this person. And they all find out that it's something to do with some superhero shit, and they all then walk into the bar. Tana just follows them. It's like,
yeah. But she just goes wandering around.
Flags, girl, you're his backup. And can we talk about something else? It's something that I was watching it, and whenever that scene happens, I'm sorry we're jumping forward a wee bit.
No, go on.
Whenever that scene happens, right? Will Smith then says, "This guy better be worth saving," and all this stuff. Blah blah blah. At what point did they say that it was a guy they were trying to save? Because I can't remember that at all.
Everyday sexism from Deadshot. Believe it. And there's nothing.
I was watching it, and I was like, but they told him that something was happening. They never told him that they were going to save someone.
I thought they said that at the beginning there was an extraction to do or something.
Yeah, but then Deadshot says, "Oh, this guy better be worth it," and then he was like, "Oh yeah, he is." Blah 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 blah. And then it's Viola Davis. Spoiler alert! It's Viola Davis.
Big turn, big twist there.
But yeah,
there's nothing that dates a movie by throwing in a Nelson Mandela quote either. Will Smith as they get in the office. That better be Nelson Mandela in there.
We jumped past one of my favourite scenes as well.
No, we're jumping all over. Go on.
Yeah, when they are bringing them out tied to their wheelchairs, and the guard like blatantly walks up. Nobody in this movie whispers. Nobody in this movie whispers. They can't.
No subtlety about this film
Not at all. Hey, here's a phone. It's from the Joker. There's about 100 army people around him. Here's a phone. It's from Mr. J. Hide it. Bye.
And then she says, "You're in so much trouble." And he's like, "Harley, what does that mean?" And she's being wheeled away. He's shouting past all the soldiers, "Do we still have a deal?"
Nobody.
Not one of them just goes, "Maybe we should have a word with that guy."
Why did that guy just hand her a phone? And why is he talking about the Joker? Like the guy who's 2 feet behind him could have tapped him on the shoulder and went, fuck up. Get that phone off that bitch. She's crazy as shit. What do you say? What, the Joker? What are you talking about the Joker for?
Is this anything to do with your gambling debts? So El Diablo, go on.
And sorry, I want to say something else. Why is Harley Quinn's suitcase vandalized? Who spray painted her suitcase?
She probably did it herself. She's mental.
No, there was no.
She just got out of prison. So she
just got out of the wheelchair. What?
We'll finish the characters then. Then we'll get onto the basic fucking story of this thing. But go on, I've got something about Flat. I've got something about Rick.
There is no.
No. That's the next. That was the next point. That was the next.
El Diablo. What can we say about El Diablo? Nothing much. He killed his family for some reason.
And he did it on purpose. It was never. He never sort of pled that it was an accident. He just got mad. When he was telling the story in the bar, Harley Quinn saying to him, "You need to own that shit," and she's like, "You killed them," and he never said it was an accident. I didn't mean to. Never once. It was I got pissed off, so I blew my house up. It's
very strange.
Yeah. And he's the one I think we're supposed to most sympathise with. And he's the one. All the rest of them have got rules about not killing kids. Deadshot won't do it.
There's that scene where and you should see what he did to the prison yard, and it just seems like he just walks into the middle and everybody else is fighting and he's just like, "Oh, okay, everybody's dead." Boom. And like, whoa. You could have went about that you could have scorched everybody. You could have given them do you know them kind of burns that you get when you put your hand on the cooker? You could have done that, and that could have been as effective as literally exploding 100 people in a prison yard.
Or do you remember what they used to do in school? I don't know if it's racist now or not, but Chinese burns, where they grab you by the wrist and they just twist your hand round on your wrist. Do you remember that?
Is that?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know what's racist anymore. We're allowed to call it Chinese.
If so, I was racist to my son this morning.
I think calling it a Chinese, and then I give him a Romanian kiss on the shoulder. Yeah, fuck. But no, I could have. I was just amazed by the fact that this is the guy who was, of all these, the one who is trying to repent, trying to change what he did. And he's the one that's killed so many innocent people. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently his arc was different as well.
But I understand they could probably put in a wee bit more of an emotional kind of side to that. But again, it harks back to, this is very much let's try and see how much screen time Margot Robbie and Will Smith can get.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think El Diablo becomes a secondary character, as soon as them two get their name on the movie poster.
Yeah. Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman. Apparently he was really good in, was it The Bridge? Or The Tunnel? Some Danish, all the moody Danish mysteries that came out that were really popular. The girl who spit on a seesaw or something. He was in one of those about a bridge. Apparently he was really good in that. Never watched that. Since then he was a robot cyborg in RoboCop, which he wasn't great. I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff. Where I've been impressed with him. And I think the best thing to come out of this film is that Tom Hardy was originally cast as Rick Flag, and he had to drop out. Serious, I'm going to read something.
He said yes to this movie.
Yeah, I'm going to read something to you now. Okay, so Tom Hardy originally said, "Yeah, I'll be Rick Flag." Got to the part, it was all cast and everything, and then The Revenant ran over by about three months, something. So he had to go back and do reshoots for The Revenant, which he ended up getting nominated for an Oscar for. Tom Hardy, let me have a look here. So, Warner Brothers, I don't know how to do a voice of Tom Hardy. Is he proper Cockney? Is he Danny Dyer?
Why don't you play him as the Cockney Jewish person in Peaky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders, right. I wanted to work on that. No, it's not really, is it? And I know the script is real fucking hell, eh?
I also know you work on that.
I also know it's going to happen. No, I also know it's going to happen with the Joker and Harley Quinn in that. I won't give it too much away. It's fucking hell, eh? And that old territory is something that everybody loves the Joker. So he's read the script. He says the whole film looks exceptional. It was just not going to happen. I just got ass slammed technically. I'm glad I said technically. I just got ass slammed technically out of Suicide Squad, gutted. So I had to hand it over to Joel Kinnaman, who will do an amazing job. I just got bumped out, and that's cool. That's the way it is. Yeah, I think he knows damn well what he avoided by doing. I don't think the film would have been any better with him in it. I don't think it would have. I think it's absolutely
nothing can save this movie. I don't care what anyone says. No. I don't care.
No, and
David,
go
on ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So basically, you've got. So there's the thing. So we'll come on to the David Ayer stuff in a minute, and what I think or what we think is going to be. The other one I've got here is Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. This is not that, and I think they were going for that kind of.
But they literally just went on Spotify and went to the top 25 listened movies in every different genre.
Yeah, and just stuck the songs.
That's it.
There was no subtlety about the music. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think James Gunn's very clever at picking the right songs for the right moment. And this was, what would be really good there? Sympathy to the Devil, stick it in, because she's the devil. And we even say that later. Yeah, it was too on the nose. So, right. First off, we've just gone through. We've got Rick Flag, who is not even a super soldier. He's just an alright soldier. Pretty decent one. We've got Harley Quinn, who has got mental illness. We've got a man that can climb things. Yeah, El Diablo, fair enough, is quite powerful. Killer Croc, yeah. Katana, she were brought in. This is... When you've got a world-ending scenario where one of your top government security officials is at risk, she's got Batman's phone number. We know the Flash is around. They've got Katana. Now, I'm not saying the no Wonder Woman's there, but this came after Batman vs Superman. So someone will know that Wonder Woman is out there now.
What? But this is on the logic. This is on the logic that metahumans are in the world and everybody knows about them, right? Are you and what you're trying to say? Now we already know the Flash is in there as well because he caught Captain Boomerang. So why aren't they actually getting people who have superhero abilities? Rather than
that's what I'm getting at.
A guy who can climb things, a girl who she's alright at samurai swording, she's alright. But the most interesting thing about her is the souls that are trapped in her sword. That doesn't make her any more of.
Don't make her any more powerful.
It doesn't at all.
Killer Croc, yeah, fair enough. But my point is, your first situation since Superman died, where you need metahumans, and you go and immediately pick the riskiest fucking scenario of letting out the worst people, and then B. You've got all these good guys hanging around. And she knows where they all are. She knows about Batman. She knows Bruce Wayne is Batman from the post-credits. That's the point they're getting at. Mm-hmm. So why doesn't she ring Batman and say this is the time? Is it because nobody will go save her? Is it because Batman won't go save her? Is it because it's not in Gotham? I don't know what it is. It
just doesn't make any sense.
None
of the plot points make any sense whatsoever. You can obviously see where they've tried to add in tension and things like that there, with the whole Flag Deadshot interaction on the helicopter as they're going there, You'll turn your back when the heat gets turned up, shit, you'll do that, you'll turn, it's just so contrived. Everything that they're saying to each other is just so fucking laid out and tectonic, and it's like, oh, all right, you're trying to build up the fucking tension between them. Yeah, I get it, I still can't get over Captain Boomerang. Like, what the fuck does he do? Like, genuinely, what the
I've
fuck
got here, right, the thing that I actually laughed about during the film and got most pissed off at. I thought he had the best joke in the film, where he smashes the phone and says, "You're all released." Straight away, drink down, he gets up and fucks off, no hanging around. I thought that was hilarious. It's like the first minute, he gives everybody the freedom. And I'm just thinking, one of the villains would just get up and walk out, and he does. It's fucking hilarious. Then they're walking out on the street, deciding to go save the world. He just comes wandering back with a beer can from somewhere. Don't give him the eyes, a nod, an agreement. You don't give him anything. He just joins back with the group, and they're looking at him like, "Oh, thanks for coming back." Why? He just fucked off a minute ago without.
And there's the scene where the knife gets thrown at him, and there's just a bundle of money in his pocket.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did you get a bundle of money? Did they add the bundle of money into your suitcase as they were? You were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. And when a film can be picked apart this much. So Enchantress, okay, so she's released by the worst archaeologist ever, who finds a rare item.
No. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. Cara Delevingne is a sexual awakening. All right, let's be careful.
Fair enough. Just Dr. June Moon is the worst fucking archaeologist there is going. So you find something after abseiling.
She's not great, Paul. I'll admit that.
So you find a beautiful rare artifact in this hole that you've just abseiled down into in the middle of a jungle. What's the first thing you decide to do with it? Snap it in half. That's it. Just let it crumble in your hand.
Do you know what? Yeah, it wasn't even that it was like a bottle top.
No, it wasn't like something to open. It's just fuck this.
Yeah. Fuck this, I'm gonna break this shit and see what it is. Because that's what all good archaeologists do.
All good archaeologists, they find the rare crafted piece of stone and think, fuck it, I'm going to snap it open because there might be a Kinder egg inside of it. So, Enchantress, she was a god, and she went to sleep for a bit, then she woke up, went inside June Moon, then June Moon ended up being found by the government. This is all in between about 4 seconds of exposition.
It's very quick. Everything's just explained so quickly, and there's just like we have to accept the fact that this is just the way they want us to see the story. Yeah. You know, there's none of us kind of putting two pieces together. This is what happens to her. The government come in. She's in a fucking room now with generals, and now give me the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the human side of it? Fuck that, we don't need that. So, and then her plan, she was talking to her brother and said the humans used to worship us. Now they don't, they worship machines. So I'm going to make a machine to destroy them. Why not just have humans worship you again? She don't even make an effort to try and take over the world. She comes back. She didn't even go looking for a heart in the first place, which I'm going to totally sidestep. I don't get it. I'm looking at this thinking...
And how does she get anything done? Because she has to kiss every human being to turn them into monsters. How the fuck does she get anything done? Because she has to stop the whole work and go, oh, for the love of God, more of them. All right, come here. Mwah. You're now a monster, right? All right, you. Mwah. Right, you're now a monster.
Literally about thousands of them all walking around.
Thousands of them!
I've just had another thought here, right? Suicide Squad, they get found, Enchantress comes out, they get called together to go
I thought you'd found the thread there, and you were going to make Suicide Squad was going to be good.
No. So, I've just figured out Suicide Squad, the first person to figure it out in 5 years. They get brought together to go and extract the target. They get there, it's Viola Davis, and they get on a helicopter, and then Harley Quinn gets away. So that's mission accomplished. Who stopped the Enchantress? There was no plan. There was no the squad went in with them. What's his name? Scott Eastwood.
No. They did have that bomb. So that must
that was the first plan.
Yeah, that must have been like the secondary kind of thing to it. There must have been that part.
That's when the Enchantress double crossed while he was in the sewer. It was it's so muddled. No, watching it again, I'm just like, it's an absolute fucking.
Can I add something into this just about Cara Delevingne?
Go ahead.
Okay. Have you ever seen Valerian?
Yes, I have.
It's a good movie.
What, you want more? It's not bad.
It's a good movie.
It's not bad.
I enjoyed it.
Are we still allowed to like Luke Besson?
Well, listen, Fifth Element's cracker. I don't care what anyone says. Fifth Element's cracker. And he kind of has that kind of Fifth Element kind of feel about Valerian.
Yeah,
and you know what? I enjoyed it. I know it's a lot of CGI bullshit. I enjoyed it. Whatever. But have you ever seen Cara Delevingne's I Feel Everything?
You'll have to tell me what that is.
It's a song.
Oh, right, okay. No, I haven't.
It is the song for the movie Valerian, I Feel Everything. Right. Magnificent. It's a magnificent song. I want everyone, all 5 people who listen to this podcast, and our Australian friend, Bobby Cameron, James Cameron's brother. Who's been,
sorry. Hello to our Australian listener. I do apologise. Hello.
Yeah, Hello, Paul, I think we've already established that it's Bobby Cameron, and James Cameron has put him in Australia because he's a better filmmaker than James Cameron. We all know who it is. All right. So Bobby Cameron down in Australia, I want you to go onto YouTube and check out Cara Delevingne's I Feel Everything from the movie Valerian.
Okay. There's your hot Cormac tip for this week.
That's my news. Right.
Is it a smoochy song, or is it like a Eurovision pop techno? Are we talking Delta Goodrum, or are we talking more?
It's pop. It's Euro pop, but it's very slow and smooth.
On a scale of Kylie to Danny.
Oh, jeez. No, it's right in the middle. Like, it is not that much disco Euro pop. Like, it's not like that. Not like that.
Okay. What's, here's one for you. Do you like helicopter crashes?
You know me, Paul. I love them.
Well, this film hasn't just got one. It's got 3 helicopter crashes. Do you know how many people die in these helicopter crashes?
Go for it.
Well, not a fucking one. Everybody could walk out. Multiple characters walk away from multiple helicopter crashes in one film. Not a scratch on them. And these are just when you watch it.
No. One person does die. The guy from True Blood. The guy who has sex with the ginger-haired girl in True Blood, Joker's henchman, he dies. He gets a rocket goes through the window of that helicopter. So if he comes back, if he comes back, that will be very surprising.
If he comes back, this is all bullshit.
unless he is a meta-human and his skill is to dodge rockets.
So I just kept writing down, why didn't you call Batman? I've got multiple times on this. I've put, why didn't you call Batman? You know Batman. You know who he is. Why not call Batman? Why? So the find Viola Davis, and like I say, we go through numerous Harley Quinn action scenes and Deadshot being Will Smith. I seriously think most of these action scenes were them just shooting into midair and they'll just animate around you. I think they'll just say to Will Smith, just jump on there and just shoot at stuff, and we'll just put in weird bobble-headed man afterwards. There's nothing.
I find it amazing that we've been talking about this now for probably about 40 minutes, and not once have we mentioned Jared Leto.
Well, we're gonna come. Yeah. Okay, go on then.
No,
I was trying to get everything else. Well, no. Okay, I've wrote Joker up here. That's about it. But yeah, I can't go on. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how. If Ayer is right and that his movie's been cut to ribbons and there was a lot more scenes with the Joker, I genuinely don't see how Jared Leto could look at this movie in any way and think it was a good move for his career.
No, I agree now.
Like four or 5 scenes he was in, 4 or 5.
Oh, if that, and he probably had about 7 or 8 costumes. I think he got paid by the costume change.
But I don't understand his Joker. I don't understand what his Joker is supposed to be.
Well, when we first watched it, and I couldn't understand, but you said it perfectly. You said, he's a mob boss, he's a gangster. And I said to you, I've never read the comics, so I can't say whether that's a typical Joker or not. To me, a typical Joker is Jack Nicholson type. You know what I mean? Well, no, sorry, excuse me, not Jack Nicholson. Heath Ledger, the cartoon version, even. So I wasn't really known what to expect. Having watched it, I can see. Creativity is the wrong word. Go on, help me out here. I can see what he's trying to be.
You know what? Can we talk about the scene in the factory? So remember in the original Batman, the Nicholson Batman, where he falls into the vat and he turns into the Joker kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Now, nothing's really ever explained as to what that stuff was, you know, how he did it or whatever. And do you know what? Because the movie actually made sense and it worked well in the movie, you kind of just bypassed it and figured, right, well, he's the Joker now. He's got a big, massive smile. He's the Joker now. Yeah. So the scene where Harley and Mr. J are she's trying to prove herself to him that she is now his and that whatever, she would do anything for him, and they're on the balcony or on the gangway of a factory, and then she nosedives into some stuff, and then he jumps in after. Yeah, so then he jumps in after and saves her, right? Now, it must obviously be something life-threatening for him to make her do that. When he pulls her out, all her clothes is burnt. His clothes is burnt. They're grand, though. They're fine. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them whatsoever. What the fuck was she jumping into?
I don't know. I thought it was supposed to be acid, but it wasn't. Or maybe it was. I don't know. I think it was supposed to be this big grand scene of delving into their characters and them two together. And you know what?
But again, it's just the same as what you said at the start. It's just throwing scenes together. It's literally like picking up, shit out of a bucket and firing it at a wall and going, right, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that link to that? Does that do that? Does that do that? Right, yeah, okay, let's do it. We've not even talked about the fact that, whenever at the start they talk to these guys and tell them that they're going to be part of the squad, there's absolutely no training. There's no nothing. That's like, you're going to do this, and everybody is together in a yard, and it's like, right, we're going to go do this, and you're like, surely there has to be better planning than this. Surely there has to be something. In order for us to believe that these people are, when we get later on into the movie, they become friends and they emotionally bond and stuff like that there, surely we have to set it up at the start that they all have a connection in some way. And it's just, the whole movie it just seems like...
And I know that's what the Suicide Squad's supposed to be. They just get together a bunch of villains, but like you said, there must be more to it than that. The thing that always puts me off is that they bring together, and I keep going back to this, but they bring together the least powerful villains that they can think of. If they'd have used Joker as a villain in this, had him take a museum hostage, and the Suicide Squad have got to go in and break into the museum or something, it's a more realistic enemy, and it'll use the Joker as an antagonist. In this, what was he doing? He was trying to break Harley out.
But there seemed to be several scenes. There seemed to be several scenes in the movie where, like, there was a few times that, like, Rachel woke up with me this morning to watch it, and we were sitting watching it, and there were, at times it was as if, like, I'll be honest with you, I was watching it on the Xbox, and I thought I'd skipped forward at a couple of points.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh shit, did I move forward? And then she even looked at me and went, "What? How are they there now? How do they all now know this end of the story that we didn't know 5 seconds ago?" But everything's kind of explained to them behind the closed doors.
Yeah, just for me, where basically Will Smith goes up to a crashed helicopter, picks up a huge ring binder full of top secret information, and by the time he walks back to the group, he fully understands the relationship between Flag and June, the fact that she's a witch, the fact that it's this, the fact that it's this. It's like, how fucking fast do you read? It's just
I take it you read that we were sleeping together. Like,
yeah.
He literally picked the fucking book up out of the rubble.
Yeah. Imagine that. Top secret government information. Page 1. Rick Flag's banging that bird.
He's fucking that doll, boys. Oh.
What was the other one I'm going to say to you? No,
well,
yeah.
Do you know, I want to discuss one scene. Which left me very, very well. It left me very, very. Okay, but the scene where at the end the Enchantress is showing them, if you join me, this is your fantasy. This is what you can have, right? So I'm not going to go for the obvious one first, right? Because my God. Okay, so El Diablo. His kids and his family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all understand that one. So Rick Flag obviously wants, I'll say Joan Moon, because that's what he keeps throughout the movie, Joan Moon.
Yeah.
Harley, she wants a normal life with the Joker. I don't so
know.
the one that I love the most, Deadshot. So the whole movie, Deadshot wants to be with his daughter. The whole movie, he wants to love his daughter. He wants to. Oh, I'm doing this for her. I'm doing it. Deadshot's fantasy is killing Batman. Like,
yeah.
That is his number one goal. So it's in the whole movie where we've gone from Deadshot being a fucking cold, calculated fucking serial killer to I'm a dad and I'm only trying my best to look after my daughter and and then in prison and and then we get to the end and the whole way through, my daughter, my daughter. Yeah,
where they say to her, if you're going to be on board, is like, do you remember he goes on the full Will Smith rant? You know, like Dennis Leary has Dennis Leary rant.
Yeah.
Will Smith went on his Will Smith where he's like, I want to go to Harvard, I want to go to Ivy League, and you white people, that's it's like, all right, Will.
So now we've established that he's a good guy again. Will is the good guy. Holy Christ, Will is the good guy again. His fantasy is to kill Batman.
Yeah. Like, I never even clicked with that.
I couldn't get past that. I paused the movie this morning and I looked at Rachel and I was like, his fantasy is to kill Batman, and she was like, yeah, because Batman caught him, and I was like, right, but you're not understanding what I'm saying, Rachel. They've just established now that he's a flawed character, but he's inevitably a good guy doing bad things. That's his character. And
even when he was captured, all he had to do was grab his very young daughter, shove her to the side, and shoot Batman in the face. That's all he had to do, and he didn't do it. But his ultimate fantasy is to... Yeah, I never even clicked with that before.
It's just so strange. And that is indicative of the entire movie. It just doesn't know what it wants to be. It just doesn't have a clue where it wants to go.
It's like they get to a point where they get to every scene and they go, what would be cool now? Not what would be in line with what we've seen so far. It's what would be cool now. What would be cool? Oh, let's have a scene where Joker throws Harley off her gantry into some acid. Oh no, she's got to jump on her own, so that'd be cool. Let's have the helicopter crash. Crash it again. Gee, yeah. and in the end... What?
How many helicopters can we crash?
Yeah, 3. Keep going. And then at the end, so the Enchantress, the witch, she can teleport anywhere, she can defy the laws of nature and physics and what have you. And she gets taken out by Harley fucking Quinn, who does the most blatant double turn I've ever seen in a film. There's just one small problem. As soon as you hear her saying that and kneeling down, reaching for the fucking gun or knife or whatever it is, wouldn't you, as this superpowered deity, go, hang on a minute, I'm going to move away a bit here because it's just so signposted. It's just so convenient.
The final fight scene is weird in the way that, it's Enchantress versus the what is left of the Suicide Squad, right? So she can teleport anywhere.
Yeah.
Enchantress can teleport anywhere, but she feels the need to teleport 5 feet in front of people and jump rather than teleport between their legs and put the sword upwards.
Yeah. Or teleport to within their body and explode anything.
Explode them.
She's a vicious... This isn't another member of the Suicide Squad gone bad. This is she wants to kill the whole world. And the last one I've got. Okay. I'm going to give you a quick challenge, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How many, in the last 12 years, how many films have included a big light being blasted up into the sky? Either a big blue light or a big green light being sent out from the top of a building or a top of something into the sky and that's the thing that the people they've got to beat. How many do you think I came up with in? I think I took 2 minutes.
Okay, let me think. How many years?
I say it's gone back to 2008.
Okay.
It's as far back as I've gone. No, there's one a bit longer.
Independence Day. That's all I'm thinking of. Independence Day, Independence Day.
Okay, so Suicide.
Suicide Squad, Independence Day. I had something there 2 seconds ago and it's fucking gone out of my head. I can't think over it.
Okay, I did. I thought up a bunch of these, and I must admit I just cheated for a few more. But Iron Man, right at the end, the Avengers.
Oh yeah,
Man of Steel, Transformers 3, the Turtles movie, The Amazing Spider-Man, Fantastic Four. I wrote Howard the Ducks. I remembered that one from the other day. Big Hero 6, Skyline, Super 8, Dark Tower, Ghostbusters 2016, Hellboy, Star Wars, Rise of the Skywalker. It's just.
Can I just say as well, Super 8. What a movie up until 20 minutes to the end.
Oh yeah, then it just. Oh god, yeah.
Great movie up until 20 minutes.
The train crash was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
As train crashes can be.
Yeah, it was a great movie up until whatever.
So, I don't want to think about good movies right now. I'm flailing myself like Paul Bettany from Da Vinci Code. So, the David Ayer Cut. How much do you know about this?
I don't know a lot, simply because I have just tried to stay away from the DC universe, having been let down so many times.
Right, okay. So, David Ayer has come out and said that his version of the film is a more darker, soulful drama, more in line with Batman vs Superman. So straight away, when he started reading this off, that to me has started. I was up for it until I started reading his tweets yesterday, and now I'm like, hang on a minute. He said, if you look at trailer 1 and 2, trailer 1 is very slow, it's very building, it's very suspenseful, it's very dark and moody. There's not a lot of jokes in it. Trailer 2 is wacky comedy, neon, wacky, and that second trailer came out after Batman vs Superman was released, when they started saying we need to go more light, we need to put more comedy into it. So you get, apparently there's a lot more Joker. He said he's got hours of footage of the Joker. I don't know why say there's even an hour of additional story, whatever. I don't know what he could have put in.
Well, to be fair, as you said it last week, and we were talking obviously midweek about Joker, and you were showing me scenes, the scene where he electrodes Harley, and it's like an extra 45, 50 seconds of him actually talking to her about it. Now, I don't believe that anything that he could add into this movie will make it any better. I get that you can edit movies differently. I get that, tones of movies can completely shift in the editing suite. I understand that completely. But he filmed. What did you say to me? He was sacked 3 weeks before.
No. That was Lord of Miller on Solo. David F. This is his film. He wrote it. He completed. Right. Okay. Today. Okay. But the editing of the film was done by another company because he was sticking to it, saying, "I want it to be dark." He said one of his tweets this week. He said it's the feel of his cut is more in line with Joker in terms of.
But he shot the scenes.
He went and did. He's saying he did the recut, the reshoots as well, because the studio mandated it.
I still can't get over the fact that he is still the person that shot the movie, and there is not a lot of scenes in this movie that are redeeming for me, and I don't believe that they're by editing or extending scenes or anything will give me a better version of the Suicide Squad that we already have.
Okay, so I I take it you don't mind if we mind me spoiling the famed Ayer Cut if it ever does come out. But if anybody's listening and you don't want to know what these additional bits are, if the film gets released, then stop listening now. But so basically, there's more Joker. One of the key bits is he does a deal with Enchantress when his helicopter crashes, and he does a deal where he says, if you save Harley, I'll become one of your whatever. And apparently he was in the final battle scene, in the final Act 3. He was there, involved in that. Or some people say that he does a deal to save his life. That's why in one of the trailers you see him with the burnt face, because there is a scene in between him crashing and him coming back at the very end of the film. Katana apparently gets possessed by Enchantress in the third act, and she turns on the Suicide Squad, and they've got to take her on at the same time. That's actually in the trailer, her eyes going black. Apparently June Moon, the Human, gets a lot more character arc, and it expands on a relationship with Rick Flag, etc. I've just wrote no thanks. You know that. You can keep. I don't think that'll add. I'll tell you. Anyway, apparently there's a love triangle with Deadshot and Harley and Joker. Apparently there was a romance between Harley and Deadshot, which the reshoots were done to limit. Some of the Joker stuff apparently was a lot more like the scene in the helicopter. There is shots, or there is filming of that action sequence where he pushes her out of the helicopter instead of her falling. So there's other cuts of the same scenes which add an extra layer of nastiness to the joke, puts another spin on their relationship. So there's a lot more about their relationship, and apparently it was the abusive nature of it was quite more emphasised than what the sanitised version we got. The main one is her, the Enchantress's brother, the no-name thing. Apparently that was originally supposed to be Steppenwolf. And the machine.
Okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah, I see that.
This is why I was saying to you about the different. This is what I wanted to talk about. So apparently the Enchantress was being controlled by a mother box, and she was setting up a boom tube, which is a DC portal to Apocalypse. And Steppenwolf came through that towards the end, and that was a part of that. So it links more in with the Snyder Cut, which is why I'm saying I think it'd be, I'd be alright with seeing it if we're going to see the Snyder Cut. There is a reason for it. If it leads into that film, that's fine. But I wrote down here now, hang on, where did I put it? I've lost it. He said the start would be a lot more like a traditional movie, as in you learn about June Moon and Rick Flag, and she goes and does a trip and she finds the artifact, and then they start introducing. So it says it's a lot more thing. Change the start. There's more to do with Enchantress. There's more Joker in it. There's a reason for him leaving. Steppenwolf's in it, and the Enchantress and all the bad guys. She doesn't kiss them to turn them into him. They're parademons from Justice League, which were coming through the boom tube. Now, having known that, I think there's enough there for me to say. I think there's enough to make me watch an extended cut or a director's cut of this film. But from knowing what's there, I don't think it'd save it. I absolutely agree with you. I don't think from what he's described, I don't think there's another top movie in all that. I think there's tweaks, there's fine tuning, and
yeah. I get it. I understand that he wants to do this, but to what end is the reason for this? Is it to reignite the DC universe again? Is it just to satisfy his own ego that he made a different movie as to what they sent out?
I think he's trying to save face, in my opinion. I think he's taken a lot of shit for the last 5 years. Yeah,
if it's that, then I would go. Yeah, okay, I agree with you. Show us what you got.
Yeah. And that's why I'm keen to see it. Because if he's saying, I've got this other version of this film, and you know what, we've all gone out and bought, or a lot of us have gone out and bought the director's cut of Blade Runner. We bought the Richard Donner Superman 2. And that was made more comedic by reshoots. And the Richard Lester version people say is inferior. I think it's inferior to the Richard Donner one. Now, we had to wait 30 years for that to come out. So, having seen other films out there which have been slightly recut and re-edited and the reshoots taken out, we know there is a better film out there. So I'm up for watching it. I don't hold much hope, though. And I think, even though James Gunn said it's alright, and he doesn't have a problem, I think it would be a big thumb in the face of James Gunn to release this next year or any time close to The Suicide Squad, which is a reboot or sequel or whatever. I think to distract the focus away from James Gunn's original film to re-release this and have a second go, I'm not on board for that. If James Gunn says it's alright, then fair enough, but I just think there's no Justice League film coming out next year for the Snyder Cut to be compared to. There is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. And I just don't think it's very fair on him, to be honest. But I'm more interested in seeing The Suicide Squad than I am this recut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
So that's us chatting about Suicide Squad. I don't know, we don't hold out much hope for it. It was an experience, let's put it that way. It could have been a lot better. I think it could have been a lot worse, to be honest. I've seen a lot of shite. It was very colourful. And the music was very good.
It looked good.
It looked good. And we didn't even mention the Batman cameo. Anyway, so Suicide Squad. So what's your overall verdict then? Do you want to see the Ayer Cut? Do you want to revisit this? Or do you want to wait for the James Gunn one? Or have you given up on villain team-ups forever now?
I'm not conflicted at all. You know, Suicide Squad and the DC universe is dead to me.
Yeah.
What they can release a good movie every 5 years and I'll watch it and I'll say it's a good movie, you know, but I'll never sit down and believe in it as I believe in the Marvel universe. It'll never happen.
No, me neither. Me neither. But, well, we've got all the fun of that to come as well, which I'm sure we'll pick up on. Have you got a bit of a quiz to finish us off then?
Not a quiz,
okay.
But I'm going to tell you what Suicide Squad character you are, okay?
Someone's been reading Cosmo.
Okay. Which of these characters is your favourite? Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, El Diablo, or Harley Quinn? I think we all know we're going to go Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang.
Okay, that's Captain Boomerang.
With his pink unicorn and his magically appearing beer can.
That's his pink unicorn. God almighty. Okay.
It's funny because he wouldn't normally carry one.
He wouldn't. It's so quirky.
Meta. It's so meta.
Okay. Number 2.
Yep.
What weapon would you use? Sledgehammer?
I thought you were going to stop at sledge then. Just a sledge. just jump on a sledge down a snowy banking.
I've started to realise that every question, I know what you're going to answer.
Go on.
What weapon would you use? Sledgehammer? Boomerang? Gun? Or knife?
Gun. You know what? I would probably think if I was in a duel to the death and they say choose your weapon, I'd probably bypass the sledgehammer, the gun, and the knife and go straight to the boomerang.
You're gonna go boomerang. Yeah, you're gonna go boomerang. This is like the worst thing ever made.
Do you like your things to return to you after you've thrown them?
When do you hear the next one? What nationality would you be?
Oh, definitely Australian. I can tell you that. I'd be Australian.
Latino American?
Is that
African American?
Is that what country you'd be from?
I'm not even joking. I got this shit on the internet. Latino American, African American, white American, or Australian.
I'd probably choose Latino American. Which country are you from? Alaskan snow dog.
Fuck me. Right. Last question. Last question. Right. What superhero power would you like to have?
Throwing of boomerangs. I'd love the metahuman power of being able to throw a boomerang. I must admit that and finding the lock with my keys has always been one of the things I can never do. Throw a boomerang to return to me and unlock a door straight away.
Oh Jesus!
Go on,
I'm gonna have to strap myself in for this, right?
No, go on.
What superhero power would you like to have? Number 1, climb any surface.
Climb any surface. Linoleum, tile, granite. You can climb anything.
Number 2, the ability to have a boomerang come back to you.
What's number 3? The ability to dress like a bat.
Number 3, the ability to take. Oh, that's not even exciting. The ability to shoot targets from a far range. Or number 4.
Do that. I've heard about Marines that can do that superpower.
Or number 4. Number 4, teleport. Teleport.
It's got to be a boomerang come back to you.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
Let's wait for the machine to do its business here.
Which website is this from, by the way?
Guess who you are?
Who am I? Am I
Captain Boomerang? Captain Boomerang! Yay! You're Captain Boomerang!
How apt for our international podcast.
Oh!
Which website is this from? Is it one of those? Is it a Facebook quiz? You giving me Facebook quizzes?
Yeah. It's just one of those random ones that is found online. The ability to climb any surface.
Honest to God, Slipknot, he can climb anything with a fucking grappling.
What a superhero! Wow, look at him! He's got a grappling hook. Like he's got the worst thing that Batman can do. Like that's the worst thing that Batman can do.
And to be honest, Captain Boomerang's got the second worst thing.
And you know what? Did his boomerang ever come back to him?
I don't think it did. I think it just fell.
So he just
first of all, when the Flash caught him, he just threw the boomerang and it stabbed him. He's just a knife man.
So he throws boomerangs and they stab people. So he's basically fuck me.
Oh. Well, okay, so that is Suicide Squad. Not the Suicide Squad, Suicide Squad. You know what? I'm bored of DC Universe now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm bored of DC Universe. Until we do Birds of Prey. I want you to see Birds of Prey. I really do.
I'll watch it though.
I think you should watch it. We're not going to do an episode on it because it doesn't deserve it, but we'll do an episode of that. Anything more? Anything more for the millions and millions of fans out there?
And Bobby Cameron? No.
And Bobby. Hello, Bobby. Well, we are going to go and climb any surface, throw some boomerangs, and
teleport.
And teleports. And we're going to go play a Spotify playlist on random and pretend we're in a superhero movie. Goodbye.
More than ever, I feel everything.